sure it's just not someone with a drone? That would be my assumption.
The clips show glowing spherical objects rising over the ridgeline, pulsing with light and drifting slowly before vanishing behind the mountains. In one video, the orb appears to hover low to the ground.
Yeah, I think that's probably just a drone, to be honest, Aswang fan.
In another clip, a separate camera, located in a different area, captures a similar light skimming just above the horizon. Locals have since come forward saying they've witnessed these lights before, often appearing in the same area at night. Some suggest the activity could be tied to volcanic plasma discharges or ball lightning, while others believe it's evidence of non-human craft, similar to orbs seen around volcanoes and mountains throughout Latin America. The fact that these glowing spheres were caught on multiple nights from multiple cameras and by a former Mexican governor has only intensified public fascination. Whether they're part of a natural phenomenon, a military test, or something more mysterious, these orbs have turned northern Mexico into the latest UAP hotspot in the world.
Do you think it is actually UAPs, or like me, do you think it's drone related or something else? Because I'm not convinced that that's
Here's a weird clip from TikTok user Stephen McCrabtree, who says he's used to strange things happening around his home, but this time something truly unnerved him. While washing dishes late at night, something odd happens.
Okay, what's odd? What happened, Callum? Let us know, mate.
Stephen suddenly felt something hit him in the back, followed by the sound of it bouncing across the floor. When he looked down, he found a small rubber ball that had apparently come out of nowhere.
Let's be honest about this. Is it potentially a poltergeist that's throwing stuff
in the clip, he walks viewers through what happened, explaining that both his wife and son were home at the time, but neither could have thrown the ball. His wife had been bedridden for 2 days, and his son was in his room playing on his Oculus.
Yeah.
He says he's experienced paranormal activity before, but nothing quite as odd as this.
They're home alone,
I have a lot of activity.
Or the wife
it's not like malicious or anything, but that right there was the first time that's happened.
So what exactly threw that ball? A trick of coincidence, or a sign that something unseen
could just be someone that threw something at him because he wants to have a viral TikTok.
Stephen's followers were quick to point out that objects don't just move with force like that on their own, suggesting he may have caught a poltergeist moment in real time.
No, I don't think so.
A chilling clip from Indonesia has recently resurfaced, and it's been making the rounds online, and some believe it may show the Kuntilanak, a vengeful female spirit from Southeast Asian folklore. The footage originally
Now, the things that I enjoy about Southeast Asian horror, you do have a lot of parallels between Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines. So the Kuntilanak, a woman that passed away during childbirth. You also have similar legends in the Philippines as well, Thailand, Malaysia. It's quite fascinating. So let's see what this scary woman is.
Posted to the YouTube channel Ewing HD shows a young boy casually playing with his parents' phone, filming himself by accident.
Alright, I saw that was on the right hand side.
See if you can spot anything eerie.
But once again, not convinced, because that could be a family member, which is more likely.
As the camera drifts past his face, a woman with long black hair can be seen in the background.
And they've just gone, that's creepy, let's post that for some views and things like that.
The boy can be heard calling out Mbak Rini, which roughly translates to Miss Rini. According to the boy's family, no one in their home or community has that name, but the child insists he sees this woman often. Viewers familiar with Indonesian folklore immediately pointed out the resemblance to the Kuntilanak, also known as the Pontianak, a ghost said to be the restless spirit of a woman who died during childbirth. She is often described as wearing white, with long disheveled hair and a faint sorrowful cry that grows louder the closer she gets.
Actually, that's That's interesting talking about the crying there, getting louder the closer they get. Whereas you talk about the Aswang, tick tick wak wak. The interesting thing is, because of like my avatar there, the Aswang has wings, especially the Manananggal. The Manananggal is referred to as the tick tick or the wak wak. So as the Manananggal is flying to seek its victims, that makes a tick tick or a wak wak sound as the wings clap together. And it's said that the further away that sound is, the closer the Manananggal is, and the louder it is, the further they are away. So once again, these interesting parallels between Southeast Asian culture.
According to reports, in the days after the video was filmed, the boy's family began hearing a woman crying late at night coming from inside the house. The activity grew so disturbing that they eventually sold the home and moved away. So did this child really capture one of Indonesia's most feared spirits on camera? Or is there a more rational explanation hiding in plain sight?
I think there's a more rational explanation. It's probably a family member. Not convinced that it's actually...
Sticking with Indonesia. Residents of Patok Besi, Indonesia were left stunned after several black cloud-like masses suddenly descended from the sky, landing in rice fields and even near local homes.
That's interesting. Actually, it just looks like plastic.
Videos shared online show what appears to be a black, foam-like substance, described by witnesses as falling clouds.
Very interesting.
The mysterious blobs reportedly gave off a faint chemical smell, leading some to believe they might be industrial byproducts or waste materials that somehow became airborne and later condensed and fell. Local authorities have not confirmed exactly what the material is, though many online speculated it could be a foam or resin-based byproduct from nearby factories. Still, no one seems to know how it ended up in the sky in the first place.
Chemicals being shot out through the smokestacks.
One of our viewers, who goes by the username What Amy Said, captured something strange while out for a nighttime walk in Manchester, New Hampshire, when something eerie appeared on camera.
Oh yay, I can make the same amount of money I made when I was out of high school, you know?
In the footage, a dark, human-like figure can be seen standing partially in the bushes beside the road. It's visible for just a brief moment before vanishing completely. Amy uploaded the clip to Reddit, where it quickly went viral, racking up nearly 100,000 views and sparking a wave of debate. Some viewers believe it's simply a shadow cast by her walking companion, possibly distorted by the headlights of a passing car. Others, however, insist the shape looks too defined, too deliberate, to be a trick of light. So what do you think? A simple camera glitch? Or something else lurking just off the side of the road that night?
So what do you guys think it is? I think it potentially just could be
an FAA-certified drone pilot from Arizona has captured what many are calling one of the clearest UFO sightings of the year.
Alright, what do we got?
On October 30th, 2025, near Castle Hot Springs, the pilot was flying a DJI Mavic 3 drone about 300 feet above the desert landscape when he spotted something extraordinary.
What extraordinary stuff do we see?
A bright metallic orb darting across the landscape.
Well, for a start, it's not an orb.
The footage, filmed in 4K resolution, shows an object racing at high speed over the mountains with no visible wings, rotors, or propulsion system. Even more bizarre, the orb appears to shift shape mid-flight, as if morphing or rotating unnaturally.
Well, to be
The
honest,
witness
I'm not
says the
100%
object was
sure what that
completely
is.
silent and moved in a way that no conventional aircraft could. Moments later, a fighter jet was spotted high above the area, seemingly pursuing the
where's the
unidentified
video footage of
craft,
the
though it
fighter
doesn't
jet?
appear in the footage itself.
Yeah, why not?
The pilot insists the
If you
flight
make a
complied
claim
with
that it's
all
there, then you
FAA
need to show it.
regulations and was conducted under clear legal conditions.
So,
He describes the incident as a
Otherwise,
genuine,
it's just
unidentified aerial
not
phenomenon and has shared the footage online for open analysis. Whether it's an advanced drone, experimental military craft, or something truly unexplained, the footage has sparked intense discussion among aviation experts and UFO researchers alike. Could this be the most compelling drone-captured UAP yet? Watch closely and decide for yourself.
either that or it just could be something overlaid over the top of the video, which is potentially possible as well.
Here's an eerie set of photos that's been circulating online for years, said to show a possible
have a look.
ghostly presence at Colonial Williamsburg in Virginia, USA. The images were reportedly found on an old paranormal investigation forum. They were taken during a
so an
12th
old
night
forum.
celebration, a historical reenactment marking the end of the Christmas season at the Living History Museum.
Alright,
In the first photo,
where's the
everything
spectre?
looks perfectly
Not there.
ordinary. A group of reenactors in 18th century attire sharing a festive toast around the dinner table. But in the second image, taken just moments later, viewers noticed something strange.
But the picture on the wall, on the mirror.
In the reflection of the mirror at the back of the room, there appears to be a
Looks like someone
mysterious
screaming.
figure. No one in the room recalls seeing anyone standing there, and reenactment staff later confirmed that only the photographed participants were present during the shoot. Was it simply a photographic illusion, a trick of light, or motion blur? Or did the camera
blur,
capture the lingering spirit
pareidolia?
of someone from Williamsburg's colonial
Someone
past?
edited it.
Whatever it was, this
After all,
unsettling reflection
Photoshop's a
continues to
pretty,
intrigue
pretty powerful
paranormal
tool.
enthusiasts to this day. Coming up in our last segment, we take a look at a fascinating UFO case from the 1960s. But before we do, remember to help us out by smashing that like button,
go give
subscribe
Callum
if you're new to
like
the
and a
channel, and
subscribe.
leave us some friendly comments in the
He's a good
cesspool
guy.
down below.
Quite enjoy watching his content.
The case of Ronnie Hill remains one of the most intriguing and ultimately controversial UFO photographs from the wave of sightings that swept across the United States in 1967. It involves a young boy, a supposed encounter with a landed craft, and what
Alright,
many once
let's see.
believed was photographic evidence of an extraterrestrial being. On July 21st, 1967, in
extraterrestrial
Oriental, North
being.
Carolina,
Let's
14-year-old Ronnie Hill claimed to have witnessed a strange object descending near his home. According to his detailed typed letter, Hill described a bright white object, roughly the size of a bright full moon, that landed in a nearby field. He said it emitted a faint buzzing sound and gave off a smell like gas or burning metal. He ran inside to grab his camera and managed to snap a single photograph before, he said, the craft rose and disappeared over the trees. When he developed the film, he was astonished to find what looked like a small humanoid figure standing in front of a circular object. The being appeared metallic, with a shiny reflective surface. Hill described it as about 3.5 to 4 feet tall, with a dark brown face, greenish reflection, and shiny silver suit. He claimed to have watched the entity for nearly half an hour as it poked a black funnel-shaped object into the ground before retreating behind the sphere. Hill's letter, dated July 21st, 1967, included meticulous notes, even a hand-drawn map showing where the craft supposedly landed. He estimated the UFO was 9 feet in diameter, noted the silence
9
that
feet,
followed,
okay.
and added a curious postscript. There were 2 objects, but the one I took a picture of was the smallest one. The photograph was first brought to public attention by John A. Keel, one of the most prominent UFO researchers of the 1960s, best known for the Mothman prophecies. Keel had Hill's original photo examined by professional photographers and editors in New York, who concluded that the image did not appear to be a doll or a double exposure. Keel went so far as to register the photograph under Ronnie Hill's name to protect it from being commercially exploited. At the time, he considered it one of the most compelling pieces of photographic evidence for UFO entities ever recorded. However, not all agreed. Critics were quick to point out inconsistencies in Hill's report. His letter stated that the encounter took place at 2 a.m. on a hot sunny day, an impossible contradiction that undermined his credibility.
That's a good point.
By the early 1970s, further scrutiny began to unravel the case. Analysts discovered inconsistencies in the photograph's exposure and scale that suggested the object and figure were miniatures photographed up close. In 1980, researcher Margaret Sachs published the image in the UFO Encyclopedia, with a caption identifying the figure as a small model with an egg in the background. Other investigators concluded that the alien was likely a doll wrapped in aluminum foil, placed in front of a white object such as a lampshade or plastic dome. Photographic analysis also found that the lighting in the image did not match Hill's account of a bright sunny day. The shadows suggested a much lower light source, inconsistent with the sun's position at the time he claimed. Despite being widely regarded today as a fabrication, the Ronnie Hill case still fascinates UFO historians for several reasons. It encapsulates the spirit of 1960s UFO hysteria, a time when children, farmers, and scientists alike were reporting encounters that blurred the line between science fiction and reality. For believers, Hill's photograph remains one of the earliest examples of a supposed UFO occupant captured on film. For skeptics, it serves as a case study in how youthful imagination, cultural fascination, and misinterpreted imagery can fuel enduring legends. Whether hoax or honest mistake, the Little Man of North Carolina stands as a strange artifact of the UFO age, a reminder of how the mysteries of the sky often begins in the imagination of those who dare to look up.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching.
That was good.
If you can't get enough of what we do here at Slapped Ham, then consider following these two links right there. Leave us some feedback in the comments section down below. Smash that thumbs up button.
Fellow Aussie.
And that's it for me. I'll see you all next.
It's well worth the watch. For people that are watching this on Rumble and YouTube, links in the description down below. Go give the video a watch, a like, and a subscribe. As I said, Callum say. He's a good guy. He releases content pretty much daily. I quite enjoy his stuff. The thing about poltergeist activities is they usually start small and innocuous, but when they start to ramp up, even sometimes the point of physical attacks. All right, back to the green football. Yeah, not convinced of that. Not convinced at all. Like, you could have so easily had someone off screen throwing the little rubber ball at him. Like, that's... yeah, I think that one was pretty rubbish. The reenactment photo, look over the shoulder of the guy dressed in blue. The exact image appears on the mirror, also appears over his left shoulder. All right, so potentially could be doctored then, if that's the case. So, Slapped Ham, how's your sleep schedule? 2:33 a.m. Well, being an Aussie, probably not particularly too good. So yeah, as I said, give Callum a like and a subscribe. He's got good content. He's a good egg, this one. Like I watch his content all the time. All right, Fearsome Top5. I quite enjoy me a little fearsome. Once again, watching this on YouTube, Rumble. See the link in the description down below. Like all the content that I'm reacting to today has all been linked. So okay, check it out. Let's see if Fearsome Top5 has some new content to react to.
Welcome to Fearsome Top5. Today we're diving into 8 scary ghost videos, guaranteed to give you chills.
Alright, that's a big promise.
A man named Luke had just become a father, and like any protective parent, he installed a camera to watch over his baby. Well, one night, while his son was tossing and turning, the camera in the room captured something truly chilling.
What's happened? Jeez, I thought that baby was fake then. right-hand side there.
As the baby struggled to fall asleep, something appeared on the other side of the room. Something that definitely wasn't supposed to be there. What appears to be a toddler walked into frame before stopping to look around the room.
That's exactly what it is.
The small child lingered in place before stepping back out of view and disappearing completely. At first glance, this video seems pretty normal, until you realize that Luke only has one child, the baby in the crib. So who or what was lurking on the other side of the bed?
Once again,
Number
It says
2.
that he has one child, but he could have more than one
prison
child.
is located in Ohio, and construction on this massive structure began all the way back in 1886.
I have no
Over the
kids. I've only
years,
got
what
one
was
baby.
meant to be a place of reform slowly
could have
devolved
another
into
child.
something much darker.
Or it could be a relative
prison
of
filled
another
with
child who came
overcrowding,
in to have a look.
violence, and inhumane conditions. Because of its dark history and decades of reported paranormal activity, it's now considered one of the most haunted prisons in America. Visitors claim to hear footsteps, disembodied voices, and occasionally see shadow figures. Well, this haunted prison was no match
shadow
for
figures,
a TikToker
so
named
what are we expecting now?
Poopstains27, who bravely ventured inside. But while wandering through the halls, he came face to face with something that he'll
What do you
never
come
forget.
face to face to?
What the? That's some creepy ass shit. Hold on, I want to see this shit. And none of I am.
Alright, the question is, what's causing that to
Incredibly,
happen?
one of the jail cell doors violently swung back and forth. The man recording couldn't believe his eyes as he cautiously stepped closer.
Unless you
The
had
way it
some
moved almost
really
looks as
heavy
if
gauge
someone we
fishing
can't
line
see was swinging the door.
and be
There
across
wasn't any wind
the
in the
cell on
building
the
at
other
the
side
time,
pulling it,
and
then
none of the
potentially
other
be it.
doors were moving. I gotta say, this
All the other
TikToker's
doors are
reaction
closed.
was surprisingly calm. Considering if this was me, I would have shit myself and ran.
That's also a very good point. The person was
Over on
very
the
calm.
Ghost subreddit, one
Could
user shared
potentially
a video
indicate
their
it's
dad
being faked.
recorded that neither of them can
He
explain.
had a good point. If I saw
According
that,
to the post, the man
couldn't
leaves
have
for
an
work
explanation
early
for it,
every
I don't
morning,
think I'd be
and
standing
along
around
one particular stretch
watching
of
the
road,
door, to
he
be honest.
often spots a dark figure standing off to the side. But as he gets closer, it always fades away. Until one foggy morning when he finally managed to catch it on camera.
that's just pareidolia.
Near the sign, a faint shadowy figure can be seen standing on the side of the road. This faint silhouette looks to be the outline of a person, but as he kept driving, it slowly faded out of view completely. The man
I've
driving
walked
claims to
through
see this
mist
figure
and
often,
fog
and on
many, many
multiple
times over
occasions,
the
he's
years.
even swerved to avoid
And
hitting them. But
sometimes
this is
it does look
clearly
like
not
that.
a
It does
living
look like
person,
this person
so
there.
could it be a ghost?
Just the
or
way that
possibly just a trick
the
of the
mist is
light?
settling in that
You
area.
decide.
I could potentially have heat coming up from the
Number
ground, that
4.
area dispersing
Dealing with
the
a
mist.
paranormal presence in your home sounds like a terrifying experience
no.
only seen in movies.
Never know.
But for a
Could have
man
been
named
something.
Tristan, it's all too
But it's
real.
hard to say,
For
isn't
the
it?
last few years, his daily life has become a living nightmare as an unseen force continues to taunt him. He documents his chilling experiences on TikTok, and unfortunately, this activity doesn't seem to be slowing down.
Not slowing down, alright. 2012 at night time, what's happening here? The old knocking on the wall and door trick. Once again, never convinced with those, because that's something you can quite easily overlay when you're editing the video. After recording like narrations over the past couple of years, yeah, it's very easy to overlay sounds. And the good thing about dark rooms is you can actually hide strings and things like that quite easily. There we go, there's music. That's going to give me a copyright strike on YouTube. Well, not copyright strike, but it'll say, copyright, you can't watch this. We're not going to promote it. I wonder if TikTok will give me a let me know about copyright infringement from the music for this.
He began recording after hearing a noise, immediately catching the door across the hallway hauntingly open. He stared on in terror as his own bedroom door then slowly began to close on its own. According to Tristan, he decided not to record anything for a few months in hopes that it would cause the activity to die down. But to his dismay, it only seemed to get worse.
Right. Getting worse, yep. How are we getting worse? You know, I'll never understand these videos. Like, they talk about having ghosts and paranormal experiences, but they always go into the dark rooms. Never turn a light on. Right, even though, well, it's easier if you have a darker room. It's easier to hide strings and things like that. So, very easy. Whereas if you light it all up, then it's much harder to fake. Move, I dare you to. Come on, move, 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 move. Come on. Jump off the table. The desk. Come on. You know you want to. Just do it, do it, do it. Once again, sounds easy to fake. If you don't want to overlay the sounds in your videos, then you can always just have a friend off camera doing it. Well, as you can tell, I'm quite skeptical on these videos. Funny thing is, I do want to find proof, but I'm a very skeptical person. It might be because of my my science background, being a geologist and an engineer. It would be nice to find some irrefutable proof that these things are happening, but there's just no proof of it.
Trying to get his attention. And by throwing objects to the floor like this, I would say it definitely got his attention. Number 5.
And the thing is, if you're living in a haunted house like that, wouldn't you just
has a ring camera
go
set up
and not
outside of
stay
his
there?
home? And late one night, while everything was quiet
Honestly,
and
if
still,
I was living in a place
something
like that,
incredibly
these
strange
things
was
were
caught
really
moving
happening.
in front
There'd
of this
be no
camera.
way I'd be hanging around. Compression error.
From behind a train, a small white figure eerily drifted into view. And if we take a closer look, it actually appears to be walking. It hauntingly crept towards the left, until eventually triggering the motion-activated light and instantly fading out of view.
You can see it moving towards
Whatever this figure
the road.
it was now completely gone.
Starts moving
Nothing
away.
like
You can
this
see
has
it.
ever
It's
been
not
caught on
gone.
this camera before, and this figure hasn't been seen since.
That's
So
just got to
whatever
do
was
with the quality
lurking
of
in
the
this
camera by
driveway
the
at
looks of
5
it.
a.m. remains a mystery. Number 6.
Oh, it's almost.
According to a woman named Hannah, the college where her mom works,
you could actually see the figure
haunted.
as soon as the light came
Her
on,
mom
turn
often
towards the road and start walking.
strange activity when
And
she's
probably
there
because of the
alone
compression
early
of
in
the
the
camera,
morning.
it just
On
couldn't
multiple
handle
occasions, she's heard a
the sudden light
disembodied
coming on.
voice whisper her name and witnessed
And,
doors
yeah,
mysteriously locking and unlocking
they
with
moved
no
away.
one else in sight. Several of her coworkers have also reported chilling encounters, but none had ever captured any proof. That is
Alright.
until one day
What
when a
proof do we
janitor
have?
pulled out his phone to record and caught this.
Alright, what are we seeing? doors.
After hearing a strange noise coming from a nearby room, he walked in with his phone recording. And as he looked ahead, one of the baby dolls suddenly moved completely on its own. The way this doll moved is incredibly hard to explain, as he was nowhere near it and nothing else appeared to be touching
Easy to do.
The doll abruptly shifted to the right, sending the janitor bolting out of the room in fear. And this right here is a prime example of why I do not like dolls.
No, me neither. I hate the friggin'
Number 7. 13 years ago, a woman named Jessica tragically lost one of her closest friends named Derek. Since his passing, Jessica believes he's visited her from time to time, sending subtle signs from the other side.
What's he doing?
But after moving into a new house, something strange happened. Late one night around 3 a.m., it seemed that Derek decided to stop by and pay her a visit.
What's Derek doing?
Mary,
Creepy.
what the He's doing it again. He's doing it again. Mary, he's doing it again.
Once
Derek.
again, that can easily be faked.
Hey, Derek. I know you're f***ing with me, dude.
Yeah, someone probably off camera.
Derek.
After all, that looks like stairs
Derek.
there, so the stairs go up and around the corner. She's got so much crap there that it looks like a
talking to you,
closet,
man.
which it isn't.
Stop f***ing with me, dude.
I'm sure Derek's got more important things to do with his life than messing with you, my dear.
Calm down, Jessica. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Even the way she's
Calm down.
talking,
It's
she
just
doesn't
Derek.
sound panicked.
Just Derek.
Sounds too calm.
Hey, Derek. Hey, Derek. What you doing, buddy? I miss you.
Almost sounds like she's bloody drunk or on
Derek.
drugs or something.
What are you doing, buddy?
And the thing is, if this has been happening for years, why is she
You know I
getting
love
off the
you.
bed and going up and having a look to make sure no one's there? Or
You
to prove
know I
that
love you.
there's no one. But she's not. She's staying on the bed, talking to it, and doesn't even sound
Hey,
convincing.
Derek. Come on, you dumb.
See, it's just someone's hand in front of the light up there.
What the f?
That's all
The
that
doorway in
is.
front of her leads up to the attic. And according to Jessica, the
that's
only
not
thing stored
realistic.
up there are a few boxes and old
As I
furniture.
said, stairs going
No
up.
one was in the attic
She's
at
got
the
so
time
much
this
crap
video
on the
was
stairs.
recorded. Or at least there shouldn't have been. So what was casting the
Yeah, no
shadow
one in
on the
the attic,
wall?
that's what she said,
Something
but-
large and oddly shaped must have been moving up there to create it.
No,
but Jessica
it's
has
just a
no
hand in front
idea
of the,
what it could have
front of the
been.
light.
People in her comments begged her to go up into the attic and show them what was up there. So she decided to make a follow-up video to do exactly that.
Y'all wanted me to come up into the attic, okay? This is a wall that y'all saw some shit on. And these are the stairs. Like, my husband has all his clothes, of course. But if you look up there, there's no
Yeah,
windows.
there's the light
I'm
source.
not going all the way up there because it scares the shit out of me. There's
So
no
they had the light
windows.
source, they had the
There's
person
a
sitting up
sofa,
there,
some
putting their hands in
mirrors,
front of the light. Of course, it's going to cause shadows in the wall.
his
Come on,
clothes.
that's
But there's
no, not
windows up here,
convinced.
okay?
Aswang fam, not convinced.
There's
at
nothing
all.
up here that would have done
This is just for
anything.
clicks and likes. That's all.
See? No window. No window. No windows.
Windows are irrelevant.
Nothing.
Very irrelevant.
Absolutely nothing up here. Other than like his toolboxes and
No,
a chair.
This is just a scam.
I'm not going up here because it's too f***ing scary for me. But there are some mirrors, which is weird for an attic.
Because it's a desk.
A fan. See, there's no windows. This is my attic.
Once again, the windows are irrelevant. There's nothing to do with the windows. There was someone sitting in the chair up there or sitting on the cushions, putting their hands in front of the bike, casting shadows in the wall.
Out of here because it feels weird.
She headed up the stairs, showing the random objects that were scattered around the attic. But at the very end of the video, something strange was caught.
That one.
Right after she said she was getting out of there because it felt weird, a bizarre object was caught on video. Directly in front of her, near the stairs, this object appeared for a split second before vanishing. Jessica didn't notice anything at the time, but commenters were quick to point it out. And they also let her know that they don't think this is Derek. But if it's not, then who or what is trying to get her attention?
In front of the light up there.
Number 8. Paranormal investigators Elliot and Joe from the Ghost Theory YouTube channel have had one particular location in mind for the last 6 years. This cottage was recently put up for sale, so before it's too late, the guys decided to finally venture inside. This old house is eerily isolated.
Once again, I don't put a lot of faith in ghost hunters because they're releasing these clips
to the location, going inside,
so of course they're going to be sensational and
I'm going to have a look
have ghosts
around
and
here
whatnot.
because I haven't actually had a look in this yet.
That's why
I noticed it when we just come down now to get started that there is a room here. So,
oh, God, that is windy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, wind is supposed to be a good conductor for paranormal activity.
It's very good for paranormal activity.
And it's also good for sound.
Yeah, just don't tell anyone it's windy.
Yeah. Did you see that?
No. Is there a spirit here that can make this curtain move?
Oh,
see, that's exactly it. Even they're taking the mickey out of themselves.
Things are about to take a chilling turn. They made their way upstairs, setting up equipment
let's go
along the way.
Let's have a look up there.
And just as they started the investigation, they heard this.
So we're going to obviously start off by just listening for a bit because then we can determine what's wind and what's not. We have actually put a little wedge or something in the window over there to stop it from rattling so much for noise pollution. So
4. Literally, as you mentioned.
Literally.
Glass.
Yeah. Good start.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? Because they're going to get jumpy now.
As they stood upstairs, the wind continued to pick up, causing the window to rattle. They went over to try and stop it, but what they heard next sent a chill down their spines.
We're going to have to do something about that window.
Right, that'll stop it, won't it?
Yeah, of course, closing it will stop it. Always does.
That's not wind, is it, surely?
No. It's not wind. Not wind, what is it? What is it indeed?
Are we both assuming that was in this room?
Yeah.
I mean, again, it is windy. That was
quite
proper footsteps.
Prominent, wasn't it? It was very quick.
It doesn't sound like... Oh, it does, actually. It's hollow.
I thought it came out.
I know, that's what I think. It almost sounded like it was on top of the stairs. I was wondering if it was in this room.
While they were focused on the window, the sound of footsteps came from behind them. These footsteps were unmistakable and definitely did not sound like just the wind. Elliot would go on to ask if any spirits could make a noise, and it's safe to say that neither of them were expecting the response they got.
Alright, what's the response?
It's quite suffocating in there.
Yeah, I don't like that room at all.
Can you copy me?
Can you copy me? Friend downstairs with a broom hitting the floor. Either that or sound overlaid.
Why can't I hear talking now?
I can hear talking.
Okay, why isn't it picked up on the camera? Normally, the microphones are pretty sensitive on cameras. especially
That's
with
where I just
the,
heard people whispering.
Right outside.
the microphones that they're carrying.
But no, he couldn't do.
There was.
Yeah, but we can't be actual people because you'd know someone was here. You couldn't walk up here with no torches. You wouldn't drive here with no lights. I was like,
I definitely heard that.
Yeah.
I promise you.
2 knocks, exactly as you did,
Yeah.
and then someone talking, like whispering in the corner.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even hear, if someone was talking outside, you wouldn't bloody hear them in there, surely.
They listen carefully, trying to distinguish between sounds caused by the wind and potential paranormal responses. While it's safe to say that they were not expecting what they heard next.
What did they hear next?
Yeah, that. But it's when it's...
That's in here. That's 100% in here.
It's when the wind's less. I need to stop that window from doing that. Making it really difficult.
You can't. Hang on. I'll put my red light on. What's on here?
Well, they have mentioned that it is windy.
Why is it every time we try and stop the window, something happens?
That's got to
It's
be
just the doors, yeah.
Yeah, the door's
It's
bang.
like,
That's
something is
nothing.
outside. I'm tripping out in this place.
A loud bang came from somewhere downstairs, making it seem as if someone or something was messing with them on purpose. To switch things up, Elliot and Joe decided to try the Estes method, something they don't normally do and are still skeptical
Estes
of.
method. What's this?
So,
Is
if
this
there
a
is a
Dark Souls
spirit
reference?
or anyone in this building, we're wondering if you're able to use this device just down here that Elliot is using. Maybe you could speak through it somehow. I'm going to ask some questions and maybe you could give your responses through that device. We're not sure how it works, but it has been potentially proven to work.
Potentially.
But we would like some actual
potentially
proof.
not proven to work as well.
First of all, can you just tell us your name? Can you speak through this device and tell us your name? I'm actually going to go through here a bit, so just to make sure he definitely can't hear me. But I obviously need to be able to hear him. If you were the person walking around in this room that I'm in, can you tell us your name through the device that Elliot is holding?
Anything? Bang.
At the bottom.
That's again, door, friend downstairs. Not convinced, Aswang fam, not convinced. And as I said, ghost hunters, they're
This is
doing this for a
disgusting.
reason.
It's important.
Now,
Yeah, let's get the shit out of me.
being that he's got headphones in, I doubt they're noise cancelling. He would have heard that too.
Is that door just closed again if that door is not closed?
Around you.
What in the absolute caused that? I'm actually shaking.
Come on, it's not convincing.
Nothing has closed.
This massive bang not only rattled the house, but also Joe. Despite searching for what could have caused this noise, he couldn't find the source. They continued with the Estes method, with Elliot calling out random words that seemed unrelated to anything. But later on, while reviewing the footage, Joe realized something downright unsettling.
Every time we hear something, generally it always seems like it's in the other bedroom.
Yes.
You just don't want us to go in there. I'll stay here. I won't...
On your arm.
On your arm.
Is that the 3rd time now? You've said something...
Picture.
You've said something about an arm 3 times.
Picture on the arm, talking about the
Does something
patch
happen
on his
to your
shoulder.
arm?
His bicep,
We carried on
tricep.
the Estes method for a little while longer and didn't really get any more responses that made any more sense. But then there's something that I realised during the edit that could have made a lot more sense, and I wish we had known at the time, is that we got the answers dead, tree, and noose.
Noose. Death.
Dead tree.
Tree.
Noose.
But also talking about my arm. Now, on my arm, I have a tattoo of the Grim Reaper hanging from a tree by a noose. So having those words so specific and also pointing at my arm, maybe they were interested in something that was going on with that tattoo. Maybe they liked the tattoo, I'm not 100% certain. It's obviously very, very, very frustrating that we didn't make these connections at the time and only figured out afterwards, because we could have just carried on and we could have done some more investigating to figure out exactly whether they were talking about my tattoo or whether it was just an insane coincidence.
These specific words coming through seem like way too much of a coincidence, meaning Elliot
Either
and
that
Joe could
or
have
it's just
possibly
him
actually been communicating with the spirit.
saying it, prearranged to say it
Make
earlier.
sure to follow me
so
on
it made no
Instagram to
sense
hear
until
more
they
from your
went,
boy.
oh,
As
ending, we
always,
found
if you
this.
enjoy these creepy videos, then make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos like this.
Well, as I said before, if you're watching this on YouTube, Rumble, the links are in the description below. Go give my man Fearsome Top5 a like and a follow. Once again, like Callum, a good egg. But there's only 2 comments. Oh, let's change that. Let's have a third one. There we go. Let's be comment number 3. Mind you, when I opened this up this morning for today's reaction, it only been uploaded an hour ago, so there's probably a couple more comments since then. I quite enjoy watching these scary videos, even though I don't believe in quite a lot of them. I've been watching them for years. Stuff like Fearsome Top5, Slapped Ham, Nukes, Ghost Pimples, all that cool stuff. I quite enjoy watching them. They're good to watch. I enjoy trying to figure out how they've done it. And there's also that vague hope that one of these videos I'll just go, geez, I can't answer that, and I won't be able to figure it out. All right, let's move on to the next one. Aswang, terrifying Filipino vampire. Well, calling it a vampire is not actually true. I think it's actually much more interesting than the vampire mythos. Aswangs are, if you ask any Pinoy Pinay, they know about the Aswang, Manananggal, Kapre, various creatures like that. The Aswang is usually an old woman, frizzy white hair, very unkempt, and they go after pregnant women because they use their long tongue to create an incision in the stomach and eat the unborn fetus. It's believed to give them strength and power. Everyone in the Philippines knows about the Aswang. Usually said to come from Capiz, Siquijor, the home of black magic in the Philippines, Iloilo, Negros. Each island has their own beliefs when it comes to the Aswang Manananggal, and things like that. So let's have a look at this and see if they're actually on the money with the Aswang, or if they're just not.
As a mythical creature in Filipino folklore, the Aswang
that's the problem, using AI for a
shapeshifts
start.
and feeds on human flesh and blood, and pregnant women's fetuses. Vampire-like, with a long, thin tongue.
Oh, geez, sorry.
To draw children out of their mother's womb,
issues
the creature lusts uncontrollably for raw meat, especially human flesh. Possessing...
Well, that's incorrect. Like, it doesn't go after human flesh, as I just mentioned before. It's got to do with eating children, babies, toddlers, fetuses. It's not
a shapeshifter nature. The Aswang is often portrayed as a combination of several supernatural creatures, such as vampires, witches, and werewolves, all of which make it particularly feared in local traditions. It is said to have been an individual who lost control of his spiritual self, allowing its inner darkness to manifest.
No, that's not correct either. An Aswang is not got to do with someone releasing their inner darkness. Aswangs are normally got to do with a black magic practice which involves sacrificing their soul, and what they'll do is they'll create these rituals normally with a little baby black chicken, and anyway, once they've completed the ritual, they'll eat the baby chick, but the baby chick doesn't die. The baby chick goes inside and allows them to transform into the Aswang. If it's not a black baby chicken, it'll be a black stone that they use, that they keep inside them, that gives them the powers, not this.
Within monstrous forms, the Aswang is believed to morph into different forms, such as animals or even other people, to fool its victims. By day, it often impersonates an ordinary human, hiding its true nature and mingling among the locals. Correct. Nevertheless, at night, it reveals its ghoulish form and goes on the hunt. One feature common to many tales is its preference for human flesh and blood, particularly that of children or corpses. These creatures dwell in isolated areas, such as forests or cemeteries. They prey on excluded and outcast individuals, such as pregnant women, travelers, and people living on the fringes of communities.
The
Aswangs can also hypnotize their victims, turning them into easy targets. Many distinctive types of the Aswang family can be found, each with its own unique features. The most common are the Tikbalag, a half-horse,
Tikbalang isn't an Aswang. It's a creature of the forest, but it's not an Aswang. Jeez. This is so wrong.
Human creature, which supposedly lures the travelers to their doom. The Manananggal, a creature that splits its upper torso from its lower body during the night to fly and attack sleeping victims.
Jeez. At least they could have done a bit of research. Just a little bit of research.
The Wakwak, a bird-like...
The Wakwak is an Aswang. Or a Manananggal. It's just another name. It's not a bird-like creature.
Creature that allegedly snatches fetuses from pregnant women. The Sigbin, a creature equipped with a long, thin trunk to suck the blood.
Oh God, this is hurting my brain. I didn't think it was possible for someone to be this ignorant. A Sigbin is normally a large dog, not something with a long trunk. And it's normally the familiar of an Aswang, not
of its victims. And the Amalanhig, a failed Aswang that rises from its grave to murder and eat people. The Aswang lore has evolved over time, adapting to changing social and cultural backgrounds. Throughout the Spanish colonial period, Aswangs were often associated with the devil and evil spirits, mirroring Catholic influence. Some researchers believe that the Aswang legend was magnified during the Spanish colonization of the Philippines to inculcate.
Actually, no. It was more amplified when the United States bought the Philippines from Spain during the American-Spanish War. It was used as a form of control. Even now, you speak to a lot of Filipinos and they won't want to go out of a night time. Like the Americans played it up, so come 6 p.m. of an evening, they'd want all Filipinos back in their house, so they used the Aswang for that, saying that if they didn't stay in their house for night time, the Aswang would attack. It was more of an American thing. Yes, the Spanish did use it, but not to the extent that they're saying in this video.
Fear and control in the local population. For protection against an Aswang, items such as garlic, sacred amulets, salt, and prayers are considered efficient to ward it off. Aswangs have become more complex characters in modern times, depicted as tragic figures or even anti-heroes. The Aswang holds a special place in Filipino culture, proving the power of folklore to shape identity, infuse fear and fascination, and promote the Filipino people's cultural values and traditions to this day.
See you in history. How could you mess up something so easy as the Aswang? Like, really, that was horrendous. Use AI for a start when you could have just employed someone to do it. Aswang is the most dangerous monsters in my country. Maraming salamat for the story. Alright, Filipino mythology, keep it up. It's nice to see mythology and folklore. Ah, there we go. Tikbalang is not a type of Aswang. They are elemental beings and not fans of Aswang. You see, the Tikbalang are guardians of the forest. And what they'll do is they'll lure people in that have been disrespectful, and then they'll trap them in the forest. They'll wander around, they'll get lost, they'll follow paths, the paths will take them the wrong direction. It's not Aswang. And the only way to escape the Tikbalang is to take your shirt off and turn it inside out, which confuses the Tikbalang, which allows the person that's been trapped in the spell of the Tikbalang to escape. It isn't an Aswang. Like, they really messed this up. There are so many descriptions of Aswang, it's arguably synonymous with monster more than it is a vampire. Well, it's not a vampire. It doesn't suck blood for a start. It eats the fetuses of pregnant women and attacks young babies and toddlers. It's not a vampire. And the bad thing is, like, there's a lot of comments here that apparently coming from Filipinos, and it appears that they don't even know a lot of the folklore, which is probably people that aren't native Filipinos, because every Filipino knows about the Aswang, the Manananggal, the Tikbalang, the Kapre, the Sigbin. Like, yeah, I gotta admit that's quite disappointing in history. Like, you have so much information to pull off, and you mess up something that's so fundamental to the Pinoy and the Pinoy history and culture and legends. Like, it's disappointing. That's very disappointing. Like, jeez. No, very, very disappointing. Very, very, very disappointing. Like, they could have actually spent some time and done some research and not done a 3-minute soundbite of getting all the Filipino urban legends and mythology and trying to slam it into one video and trying to promote something. And they did it wrong. They did it so wrong. Anyway. Let's move on. I did promise that I'd read a couple of my stories. And so the first one I wrote back in April 24th, 2024, so this is a year and a half old. So this song, I Love Watching You Die, is based off a Wednesday 13 song. I don't know if anyone listens to Wednesday 13. Like, he's a very interesting character, very into horror movies, horror stories, writes songs about them. So he has this one song, I Love Watching You Die, and it's written in the perspective of a serial murderer. And I thought it was a very interesting concept to write a story about. So I borrowed a couple of lines of the song and I wrote about it. So this is I Love Watching You Die. Ah, hello there. I see you're awake now. Do you remember me? Of course not. You didn't even see me before. You and your pretty, very high look. A real Barbie doll. Right down to the blonde hair, blue eyes, and fake tits. Please don't struggle. I've drugged you, and you'll feel weak for quite some time. I can see it in your eyes. You're wondering, why am I here? Who is this creep? Well, that doesn't matter at the moment. I'll tell you some other time. Now, stay still for a moment. I want to look at something. Don't be scared. The knife is very sharp, so it will not hurt much. But please be a good girl and don't struggle, or I may cut something you don't want to lose. See, that wasn't too bad. It was a small nick on your cheek. I wanted to taste your blood. It tastes so sweet. Now, rest inside this little box I made for you, and you feel good. I'll come back and play. You're being a naughty girl. I heard you kicking the box. Is it too small? No, it's just the right size for you. You'd better stop. I'm forced to come back. I'll cut something off, maybe a toe, each time you disturb me. Now, be good. I decided that I'd give you a new name. Girl in the Box just doesn't have a good ring to it. I think I'll call you Stella. Perfect name for a whore. What, you don't like your new name? Do you want your old name back? No, you don't deserve it. If you're good, I'll take the muzzle off and let you speak to me. But you have to earn it. You've already lost 3 toes for being a bad, bad girl. Prove to me that you can be good. Stella, you're bleeding too fast. You need to bleed slower. I'm far from done with you. I love watching you die. You don't want to die? I can see it in your eyes. You think you're still going to escape, Stella. That is not going to happen, my little pet. If you were a good girl back then and not a whore, you might have had a different life. Scream louder. They'll never find you, Stella. You're mine now, and you have to live in this hell I built for you. I'm sure you're praying for death every day, aren't you? But it's never going to come until I let it. You haven't figured it out yet, have you? I want to cause you pain. I only want to make you suffer. I love watching you beg and cry. See what happens when you're a good girl? I've got something special for you. Some special clothes. I know it's simple, but at least it won't smell like your spoiled outfit. Come now. There's no need to thank me. Don't tell me you love me, Stella, because I know it's a lie. You hate me. You hate me as much as I hate you. Be honest with yourself. You hate everyone for the position that you find yourself in. I think you deserve a reward. I'm going to tell you why I took you. The reason I took you is, well, there was no reason, Stella. I only wanted to punish you, and in my heart, I knew that you would make the perfect student in pain. I had a feeling I could go further with you than I did with the others. Yes, there were others, and they were no fun. They broke too easily. But Stella, you have finally broken and turned blue. You last an entire week. The others lasted 2 or 3 days. You'll always have a special place with me, unlike the others who sleep in the forest. I think I'll put you in my crawl space. That way, you are close to me. As I said, that song was based off a Wednesday 13 song. I found it quite interesting, and I thought I wanted to build on it. So it allowed me to write something quite interesting and unique there. All right, on to the next one. I want to read to you the second story that I ever wrote. I did rewrite this because I wasn't happy with the original version. I originally wrote this back in, I think it was December 2022. I've always found the concept of a yandere very, very interesting. A yandere is a person who basically becomes obsessed with someone. They love them so much, and when they don't have that love given back to them, they normally turn violent. So this is actually a 2-part story. So the first part, the yandere, a sad tale of regret, was, as I said, the second story that I ever wrote. And the next one is about how the person in the story actually became a yandere, which is quite sad in my opinion. All right, so let's jump in, shall we? As an introvert, I often find it challenging to connect with people, In fact, I often found more solace and understanding in the pages of a good book than in the company of others. It was a serene day several months ago. I was nestled under the protective branches of a grand pine tree. Its long, brown limbs stretched towards the sky. The scent of pine filled the warm spring morning, and the wind whispered through the slender needles. It was a moment of pure tranquility. I was lost deep in a story. The pictures seemed to leap off the page, and I'd been known to lose myself for hours in a good book. A slight sound broke me out of my trance. "Excuse me, came a soft, sweet voice. Raising my head from the pages, I saw an angel before me. Her long, obsidian hair danced softly as the wind caught it, and it flicked against her face, covering it ever so slightly. Her eyes were almond-shaped and a deep, dark brown, and innocence hid in those deep pools. She was smiling, a magic smile, and my heart fluttered as she looked at me. What happened there? She wore a white blouse with red tie, and her black blazer had a school logo on it. "What are you reading?" she asked inquisitively as she pushed a strand of hair from her eyes. "I'm engrossed in a manga," I confessed, my voice betraying my nervousness. We spoke about Japanese culture for a few hours, but finally she told me her name. "My name is Miku," she said, smiling as she introduced herself. Her name rang in my ears. It was lovely and perfect. We exchanged numbers, and we bid each other a goodbye. Miku said that she would text me later. She smiled at me one last time and walked off. I sat there dumbfounded. Was it all a dream? We started texting, and soon Miku asked if she could visit and see my manga collection. I was nervous. Why would such a beautiful woman want to come to my place? I texted Miku my address and ran around the house for the next hour, ensuring that it was clean and tidy. Should I prepare snacks, a drink? What should I do? I thought nervously. Finally, the doorbell rang, breaking the silence. I headed to the door, pulling it open, and there she was, standing in front of me, still wearing her school uniform from earlier in the day. She smiled at me. I stepped back and offered her access to my home. She knelt and pulled her shoes off, placing them neatly next to the front door. I took Miku from room to room for the next few minutes, showing her my home. Eventually, we ended up in my room and sat on the edge of the bed. I could feel her warmth as she leaned over and picked up one of my favorite manga pieces. She looked at it momentarily and started giggling as she read it. "Oh, you like that kind of manga," she giggled, pointing to a sexy character. I could feel my face turning red, and I turned my face downwards. Her face appeared before me without warning, inching ever closer until her lips touched mine. Her lips felt soft against me, and I could taste the faint aroma of strawberry. It took me a moment for my mind to register what was happening. Not sure what else I could do, I leaned forward into the kiss and accepted her into my soul. Time faded into nothingness. I don't know how long we made love, nor did I care. I'd never felt anything as beautiful and as tender as I experienced with Miku. When we were finished, I lay there, my chest rising and falling in rhythm of our heartbeat. Miku turned and looked at me. Her eyes burned with a mad passion that etched into me. "I love you," Miku whispered, breaking the magic. I met this woman a few hours ago, and she professed her love for me. I didn't know how to feel about it. I was confused. "Thank you," I mumbled, unsure what to say. I pulled her close and held her near. Closing my eyes, I fell asleep. A few hours later, I awoke, and something felt wrong. Something felt heavy on my waist, almost like a giant stone, but it felt warm. And my chest burned, stinging with pain that made me want to scream in agony. My blurry eyes flooded open, and I could see a faint outline of something sitting on me. It took me a few seconds to realize what the shape was. It was Miku. She was still naked, and her breasts were rising and falling slowly. But something didn't look right. My chest was stinging, and I tried to reach my hand in an attempt to try and ease the pain, but my hands wouldn't move. I struggled to free them and realized they were both stuck to something. Oh shit, they're taped to the bed. My mind screamed to me. I wanted to look at my chest, but I couldn't move my head either. No matter how hard I tried, it was useless. Miku had used the duct tape across my forehead, pinning my head to the bed. I was about to scream at Miku, then I saw it. A long, slender, silver blade stared back at me. The knife's edge caught the candlelight as it flashed angrily at me. A crimson smear was on its edge. It was then I realized it was my blood. Miku's eyes stared at me, and I couldn't see any emotion there. The tenderness, as we'd made love, was gone. She was scaring me. Miku, why? I could feel the whimper escape my lips. A powerful rage escaped her tiny frame as she shrieked. Thank you, you don't love me, you don't love me, you're like the rest, you'll throw me away like the others. As Miku screamed at me, it was only then that I realized she had cut herself. And not only cut herself, but carved the word, Mike, across her breasts. See, you own me now, your name is on my body, and you will be mine. Miku's voice was unhinged and wild. Miku lowered the knife and placed the tip against my chest. I could feel the flesh starting to spread as the warm blood flowed down my body. Even through the pain, I knew exactly what she was carving into me. Miku. I am going to die here, my mind screamed at me, and there was nothing I could do. She was branding me. Time stood still for the second time that day, and I didn't know how long she'd kept my body, but it seemed like forever. The agony was indescribable. There was no pleasure, only pain. But what came next scared me more than the knife. Miku dropped her weight onto me, her bare chest against mine. She started grinding our wounds together, tearing the skin further. I gritted my teeth tightly. I could almost hear them cracking under the pain, but I promised I wouldn't scream. Miku whispered in my ear very seductively. My blood is in you now, and yours in mine. We will never be parted, my love. I love you. I wanted to scream at her to go away, to leave me alone, but all I could do was meekly whisper, I love you too, Miku, with all my heart. She squealed like an excited schoolgirl and started to smile as she did earlier. Suddenly, the smile faded, and with venom in her voice, Miku said something that would haunt me for the rest of my life. Make sure you are a good boy, and I won't hurt you again. I will always be watching you. I passed out from the pain. I don't know how long I was asleep, but the bindings and Miku were gone when I awoke. My sheets were red with blood, and my chest was swollen and irritated. Forcing myself off the bed, I attempted to go to the bathroom. I stumbled into where the mirror was, and the sight of the man I saw looking back at me, I didn't recognize. It looked like me, but it wasn't me simultaneously. The man looked sickly white color with sunken eyes. The brightness was gone. There was blood all over my chest, stomach, groin, and legs, and in the center of my chest was the name Miku. I stumbled back into my room to get my phone. I unlocked the screen, and there was a picture. There was Miku sitting on me, blood all over her body, and she had that damn knife pressed against my neck. Miku sneered into the camera, taunting me to call someone. The phone fell from my hand, hitting the floor with a loud bang. A voice came from behind me. Who are you calling, my love? Hopefully not another girl, she said mockingly. Those words cut me as deep as the wound on my chest. I spoke in barely a whisper. No one, Miku. There are no other girls but you. In a joyful voice, like she was joking, said, That's good, my love. I would hate to have to kill the... Excuse me. That's good, my love. I would hate to kill them like the others. She giggled. Others? What others? I wanted to yell, but I had to compose myself and turned and looked at her. I was expecting to see a demon standing there, but there wasn't. Miku smiled at me with that same sweet smile that could make a man fall in love. I mustered my courage and stepped forward, placing my arms around her and pulling her close. Miku wrapped her arms around me in a warm, loving embrace. Her soft body seemed to melt into mine, almost like she belonged in my arms. It was in that moment I knew exactly what I had to do. I pulled back from the embrace, looked at Miku deeply and whispered, "I love you, Miku. And I'm sorry." Before she could react, my hand shot up quickly, wrapping around her throat, and I started squeezing. Her eyes opened wide in surprise, and she started choking for air. I could hear her staggered breaths. Miku was struggling to say, "Why, love?" She clawed at my fingers. Her nails bit into my hands, and when that didn't work, I felt her long fingers starting to tear at my face and eyes. The skin started to begin to peel away in large strips as she struggled for life. But I knew deep down, if I stopped squeezing, Miku would kill me. Finally, her bloodshot eyes gave out one last cursing glaze. Let's start that again. Finally, her bloodshot eyes gave me one last cursing glare. Her arms stopped ripping at my face and fell beside her body as she went limp. I kept squeezing. I was too afraid to let go. I felt like she would open her eyes and attack me again. After eternity, I loosened my grip, and Miku fell to the floor. Tears started running down my face. What had I done? Why did Miku do this? Miku was looking at me. Her eyes locked onto mine. I could feel the poison dripping out of them. After the police investigation and trial, I was charged with manslaughter and placed in an institution for 5 years. During that time, I underwent rehabilitation. But Miku had broken something deep inside me, and I would never be the same again. There was a scar across my chest, and I would see her name every day as a bitter reminder that Miku was always watching me. While at the institution, her parents contacted me and arranged a meeting. I didn't know what to expect from them. Miku's parents were remorseful and apologized for what their daughter had done. They knew Miku's mental condition and kept her locked up in their house and kept away from society. But it turns out on the day that I met her, she had managed to escape from her parents' home, and I was the unlucky person she was destined to meet. As I said, that was the the second story that I ever wrote about Miku the yandere. Excuse me. The second story that I wrote about Miku was the explanation of how she lost her sanity and became like that. I think the yandere concept's a very sad thing to love someone that strongly that you have to cause them harm if you can't get that love back. That's, I don't know, that's passion at its most poisonous. It really is. I guess love someone, they love you back. But I think there's always that sort of dichotomy in a relationship where someone will express their love more than what someone else does. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't love them. It's just one of those sad things. Especially in the case of a yandere, like they love someone and they potentially find someone that doesn't love them back, and it scars them. We've seen plenty of cases of this in Japan where people have attempted to injure or kill people because of this. Their mental condition is just that poor. So yeah, it's a sad story, but we need to look deeper into it. We need to look at the mental stress and strain of these conditions and realize that sometimes these people just require help and understanding. Anyway, got a feeling that TikTok and YouTube probably didn't like that story too much. They are a little dark after all. But I got to admit, I do enjoy writing those stories, especially being sort of uncensored about them. After all, I think the most evil thing is not ghosts or spirits or demons. It's the harm that we do to each other. All right, so I'll go through one more story, and that's where I'll call it for the day because I think my voice is starting to go. All right, so Asylum number 9. It's a little bit of short of story. Funnily enough, this was also inspired by a song. It's a song by a band called Wasp, titled Asylum number 9, based off one of their concept albums. It's once again a very sad story about how people are abused, especially children, back before in orphanages and things like that, and using religion and things like that to justify it. So I always like this song. It's very sad, but I wanted to take it and make a sort of a darker version of it with a bit of a psychological horror twist. So please join me now for Asylum number 9. My mother Mary abandoned me when I was young. I was sent to an orphanage for wayward children. The beatings I received from the sisters were beyond comprehension and would leave me scarred for life. To escape the torture of the beatings, I threw myself down a well. I remember for the first time feeling free and closer to God. But alas, it was not my time. When I came to, I didn't know where I was. My body ached from time in the well. "Oh, he's awake," came a voice from the edge of the fog. I attempted to sit up, but my body wouldn't respond. It was like I was trapped. And with horror, I realized I was strapped to the bed. Thick white bindings encircled my entire being, and no matter how much I struggled, the leather cuffs bit painfully into my wrists and ankles. "No need to struggle, my boy. You are in a house for the enchanted minds, the happiest place on earth. You know we almost lost you, but thankfully we caught you in time. Aren't you a lucky boy?" the voice continued. No matter how hard I tried to focus, I couldn't pinpoint where the voice was coming from. Was it a man? Was it a woman? I couldn't say, but all I knew was that it seemed to be mocking me. "You are here for life, little man, but it's okay because I will fix you right. But you need to hand over your life to be used. But first, let me welcome you to Asylum number 9. This is a place where the sisters send the most troubled and violent children. So welcome." The voice droned on as my vision faded into the darkness. Time floats slowly in the asylum, and the tortures I underwent were unspeakable. If I thought that the beatings that the sisters gave me in the orphanage were terrible, what the doctors and nurses did to me made the sisters look like saints. "Hello, Jessie. Did you miss me?" A familiar voice snapped out of the darkness. What the hell was the Mother Superior doing here? My body started to quiver at her voice. Sister Sadie had found me. "Of course she did." "Jessie, it seems even the Lord doesn't want you. You're a worthless child. Your mother didn't want you. I don't want you. Even our Father in heaven doesn't want you. You're a filthy child." Sister Sadie scolded me from behind her hiding place in the dark. The room was pitch black, and I couldn't even make out where she was hiding. But I knew what was coming next, and I braced myself for it. It didn't take long before the crack of leather It didn't take long before the crack of the leather belt came out of the darkness and slapped my chest. The pain shot throughout my body. The next day, the doctors found me a bloody mess from the beating that Sister Sadie gave me. My skin was cracked and broken. Purple welts covered my entire body. Dr. D came to see me. He had been treating me for months, and when he saw me, he let out a slow, deep chuckle. It reminded me of a retarded clown who thought they were the funniest person in the circus. He had to be middle-aged. His hair was short, but had a mixture of salt and pepper streaked throughout. His eyes were a deep black, which seemed to take pleasure in making my life hell. He reached up and pushed his thick-framed glasses back on his nose. "Jesse, did you have an accident? You're such a clumsy boy," he smiled as he asked. I wanted to protest, but I knew it wouldn't do me any good, so I sat there in silence. "Oh, the silent treatment, Jesse. I thought we'd gotten past this stage. Well, maybe it is time for you to return to the chair for the treatment," he chuckled. "Anything but the chair," I screamed. An orderly approached me from behind. He picked me up like a small rag doll and carried me out of the room. I struggled and kicked, but it was no use. He walked fast down the hall. The white walls were featureless, and the paths looked the same. Finally, we reached the room with the chair. Without warning, he dumped me in the chair and pressed his hand against my mouth as he started to loop the straps around my body. I did the only thing I could do to fight back. I bit down hard on his fingers. The rich taste of iron flooded my mouth as the man smiled at me. I could see his yellow, rotten, jagged teeth. His breath stunk. "Well, Jesse, are you ready? It is time for your treatment," Dr. D said as he held a hypodermic needle filled with green liquid. Before I could object, he plunged the needle into my arm and he pushed the plunger down. I could feel the familiar burning of the liquid flowing into my veins. "Jesse, I have told you how this works, but I love explaining it to you. First, your body will start to lose feeling in its arms and legs, and then the rest of your body. You'll only be able to blink. You'll be paralyzed, and best of all, this will amplify everything you're going to feel. By the way, I've asked someone to come and help me today." He could not stop himself from laughing as he spoke. Dr. D moved to the side, revealing a woman dressed in a nun's habit. Sister Sadie was standing there, and her smile was pure ecstasy. Her grey eyes locked onto mine, and I knew I was doomed. When they were done with me, I was thrown back into my room to lay there in blood and filth. Months passed, and I was beaten daily. I couldn't escape Sister Sadie or the doctor. But I did find solace when a new boy, Billy, was brought to the asylum. He was the same age as me. He had mousy hair, bright blue eyes, and he was always smiling. We became friends, and he gave me strength to carry on with the beatings. We would often stay up all night and wonder how to get out of this asylum and what we did wrong what we do wrong. Finally, the doctor and the sister would take that little bit of happiness from me. They said that Billy broke into the medicine cabinet and overdosed, but I knew the truth. They'd murdered him. A part of me broke, and there'd be no coming back from it. I knew I had to find a way to escape, or eventually end up like Billy once the doctor and the sister were tired of playing with me. The doctor and the sister didn't know their little drug was not as potent as it had been, and it would last all night when it was first administered. But now it would wear off just over an hour. Finally, they'd finished their torture. The orderly threw me into my room, and my little body hit the floor hard. It took all my willpower not to scream out in pain. He turned and left, pulling the door closed behind him. But there was no click this time, and I knew I had to bide my time for just a little bit longer. 2 hours passed, and I gathered my will to sneak out the door. Every creak and groan in the asylum caused me to pause, wondering if someone was coming. Pressing my ear against the door, I listened intently. I was greeted by silence. Pushing the door open, I saw an empty hallway, and I knew I didn't have much time. Winding my way through the hallway, I found the emergency door. Pushing down the lever, the door swung open. It was the first time I'd seen the outside in such a long time. The grass felt sharp under my feet as the cold bit my flesh painfully. But there was no time for that now, I thought to myself. I started to run. I ran through the massive trees, not paying attention to where I was going until I saw a familiar sight. The wishing well. "Jessie, get back here," a voice screamed from near the well. It was Sister Sadie. I turned and ran straight towards the black and white demon. Her eyes glared at me with hatred. Dropping my shoulder, I rammed it hard into the sister. I felt a satisfying crack as something broke. The sister grunted as she lost her balance and disappeared from the waking world into the well. All right, so that was Asylum number 9. This was a story that I was actually planning to build and actually add another couple more chapters, but I never got around to doing it. Maybe one of these days in the future when I have a bit of free time, I'll actually get around to writing some more. But until that time, I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't have time for it. With work, with university, everything. Streaming just takes too much time. All right, well, I've been streaming for about an hour and a half now. I think I'll call it there. Might come back shortly and do a little bit more Silksong. After all, there's still a lot to do there. Thank you everyone for coming and joining me today for the reactions and watching. It's been fun, but until next time, Aswang fam, keep watching